If you have ever closed your eyes during a piece of music and felt the world around you simply dissolve, the noise, the weight, the ordinary passage of time, then you already understand what it means to be in the presence of Il Volo. And if you were among the thousands gathered at the Vatican for the Youth Jubilee, or one of the millions watching from living rooms, hotel beds, and tearful kitchen tables across the globe, then you know that what unfolded that evening was not merely a concert. It was a covenant between three voices and every soul willing to listen. From the first breath of sound that rose into the sacred Roman air, something shifted. The crowd, young pilgrims, lifelong fans, first-time listeners who had wandered close simply out of curiosity, fell into a collective stillness that few performances ever managed to conjure. Piero, Ignazio and Gianluca stood beneath the open sky with a quiet gravity that told you everything before a single lyric had been sung. This was not a performance. This was a confession. The moment their voices joined for the first time that night, a wave moved through the audience that you could almost see, heads lifting, hands reaching for hands beside them, strangers becoming something closer than strangers. Fans who had followed Il Volo from Buenos Aires to Tokyo, from Madison Square Garden to the ancient arenas of Italy, later described the moment as feeling like coming home after a very long journey. Many were already pressing fingers beneath their eyes, and the song had barely begun. What makes Il Volo impossible to simply watch, what forces you to feel them, is the space they leave between notes. There is a pause, a breath, a held silence that hangs in the air like incense, and in that silence the audience fills in everything the music hasn't said yet. During one breathtaking passage at the Vatican, Gianluca held a single note so long and so purely that the crowd seemed to forget to breathe alongside him. When it finally resolved, the eruption was not just applause. It was release. Have you ever felt music like this before, where the silence moved you as much as the sound? The emotional architecture of their world tour has always been built on moments like these, scattered across continents like lanterns on water. In arenas across Spain, audiences stood as one before songs had even reached their final chorus, swaying without instruction, moved by some invisible current. In South America, fans sang back every word with a ferocity that brought Piero visibly close to tears, and he made no effort to hide it. He pressed a hand briefly to his chest, looked out at the thousands of voices carrying his own melody back to him, and simply smiled the smile of a man who understands exactly how fortunate he is. Did you feel this moment too, watching from wherever you were in the world? There was a night in particular, one that viewers around the world shared how this performance stayed with them long after the screen went dark, when all three of them seemed to step beyond the choreography of any rehearsed show and into something rawer, truer. The stage lighting had softened to a single warm gold, the orchestra behind them barely more than a murmur, and Ignazio stepped forward alone. His voice that night carried something different. A weight. A tenderness. The kind of singing that doesn't come from technique but from everything technique is ultimately in service of, genuine human emotion poured into open air. Audience members in the front rows were seen wiping tears without embarrassment, without self-consciousness, the way people only cry when they have completely forgotten they are in public. Throughout this extraordinary tour, Il Volo has carried the music of their Italian heritage into arenas and open squares that span every culture and language, and what continues to astonish is how little translation is needed. A grandmother in Warsaw and a teenager in Mexico City and a retired schoolteacher in Seoul do not share a spoken language, but they share the particular catch of breath that happens when three voices braid together in perfect harmony. They share the goosebumps. They share the involuntary tears. Which city's performance touched you the most? Was it the intimacy of a European night, or the thunderous warmth of a Latin American crowd lifting every word skyward? At the Vatican, as the Youth Jubilee reached its emotional crescendo, something happened that those present will likely carry with them for the rest of their lives. The three men stood together at the front of the stage, no instruments, no amplification that the moment needed, and sang into the night sky with the kind of vulnerability that borders on prayer. The crowd, tens of thousands strong, went quiet in a way that cities almost never go quiet. It was the silence of people who are, in that exact moment, completely present. The silence of people who have been, without quite knowing how, healed of something small. That is the gift Il Volo has always offered, and it is no small thing. In a world that moves faster than most of us can bear, they slow everything down. They remind us that beauty is not an accident, that the human voice at its fullest is still among the most extraordinary instruments ever gifted to this earth, and that 3 young men from Italy can stand before the Vatican and speak, in music, to every heart in every language that has ever learned to ache. If this story moved you the way Il Volo's music moves us, leave a comment below and tell us your most unforgettable Il Volo moment. Like this video if their voices have ever found you at exactly the right time, and subscribe so you never miss another tribute to the music that reminds us we are all, underneath everything, listening for the same thing.